So, you will always get Blade of Justice first. Good shit, I guess. Then you could choose Divine Storm. Or Art of War. Your auto attacks have a 200% chance of resetting the cooldown of Blade of Justice. Yes. This is a talent right now, right? If you go red, Art of War is a talent you can spec into. No, it's not that. Okay. Well, that's just probably rank 2 or something of the same ability. Either way, that's already baked into the kit. What else? Increases your haste by 2%. This is dog shit, man. Why do we have these things in the trees? There is one here as well. Increases haste by 2% once again. Then there is another one here. Speed and avoidance by 2%. Not good. I don't like to see this kind of stuff. But it is something you can skip, so yeah, it seems to not be a big problem. What about this? Increases the critical strike from your Blade of Justice by 5%. I mean, sure. Generates 1 additional holy power. Wait, so you make it generate 2 with that? Yeah, you need that for sure. Your Blade of Justice critical hits cause the target to burn for 20% of damage dealt every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. This is already a thing as well, I believe. Not sure from what, but it already is a thing. It's more damage. I mean, you would probably always pick Divine Storm, right? Let's see what that unlocks us. Yeah, you need Crusader Strike. 2 charges of that is not mandatory, but it's you're not gonna pass on that, right? Increased damage dealt by Judgment. Sure, I don't see how you pass on that either. Reduces the cooldown of your Judgment ability by 1 second. I guess you need that as well. Shield of Vengeance is just your defensive. Big burst of damage. Could you pass on your defensive? And they kill the jailer. You could probably pass on your defensive, could you? I mean, it's the only defensive you have, but what if you don't care about your life? That would be very reckless, but I do believe you always pick this, because you don't really have anything else besides Bubble. Art of War resets the cooldown of Blade of Justice 100% more often, and its damage is increased by 25%. So that is a talent. That is Blade of Wrath, and it's called Blade of Wrath. So it's just the same. More often, meaning instead of 12, it's 24. And increases damage by 25%, so Blade of Justice is just doing more damage. Now, Blade of Justice is not that big of a part of Red's damage, is it? The main point of Blade of... What the hell? I just got baited by a bird flying right above my screen. Oh my god, I thought it was a roach or something, just like crawling behind my screen. Jesus Christ. I saw the bird like flying right above the thingy. Oh my lord. Okay, well, whatever. Now we know. Fucking hell. So, the main thing about Blade of Wrath, or rather Blade of Justice, is the fact that it generates 2 holy power and you can reset it and do extra damage. But it's just mainly the fact that it gives 2 holy power. That's why you want to have it as often as possible. What else? Blade of Justice casts with Art of War shatters. The earth while emerging. Casting Consecration on the target's location. Has its own consecration limit 1? What? So it's like a consecration that like... Okay, so it replaces your current consecration. That's what I'm getting at. Or is it like a consecration besides your own consecration, so you can have 2 consecrations, but only 2 at once, because you can only have 1 of... Yeah, that's what I think it is. So you can have your own consecration and then the one from Blade of Justice. I mean, could be good for PvP, actually. This is decent for PvP, I think. So you have 2 consecrations, but the thing is you spawn one at a relatively short range, but it's like a ranged consecration at the target's location. You can like drop that around the corner. The person's gonna line up side you on the corner. You drop that, and then they need to move a little bit more. And if they don't notice, then they would stand on the consecration, and for, I don't know, like maybe they do something and they need to move out of it. Whatever, it doesn't seem too great, but this would be more AoE damage, so it would be good for Mythic Plus and stuff like that. And you would probably pick this, just more Blade of Justice means more Holy Power, so you would probably pick that. That is questionable though, but every third successful judgment is a 15% increased critical strike chance and deals additional holy damage to its target. Every third judgment, 15% increased critical strike chance and more damage. Doesn't seem too impactful, but it's extra damage, so it's only 1 point. Let's say you pick that. Let's look at this though. Righteous Verdict, Templar's Verdict, increase the damage of your next Templar's Verdict by 15% for 6 seconds. Isn't this like a must for single target though? Calm Before the Storm. Enemies hit by your Divine Storm take 50% more damage for your Consecration for 8 seconds. Okay, so this seems like single target AoE, but you would always pick these anyways, right? Probably not. That's a lot of spamming going on Discord. Seal or Boundless Judgment. We know what Seal is. Your judgment has a 25% chance to chain to a nearby enemy. Oh. Does it give extra holy power then? Probably not, right? You get 1 holy power when you throw it, not when it lands. So that would be an extra chance of extra damage. Okay, well. Couple options here. More AoE, more single target, or more cleave with like a few targets. Couple options, not bad at all. Okay, you do need to pick your defensive to go to Wake of Ashes, so you can't skip on your defensive somehow. Execution Sentence though. Ooh. The hammer falls slowly and they suffer a bit of damage, plus 20% of damage taken from the ability at that time. That's a good old big hammer, very loved in PvP, very bursty. You can play around it a lot in a lot of ways though. Templar's Verdict extends the duration of your active execution sentence to the target by 1 second. Can't extend it beyond 8 seconds. This might just be good, but I don't play too much threat, so I don't really know if you even... I don't think you play execution sentence nowadays, but extending the duration by 1 second means like that GCD that you put into execution sentence by using Templar's Verdict is refunded. So, if you do use execution sentence somehow, I think you would pick this, but I don't know about that one, honestly. What about this? Choose one. Path of Ruin replaces Wake of Ashes with Path of Ruin. Lash out at your enemies, dealing a bunch of attack power. It's not as much attack power as Wake of Ashes, though. Okay. Rain damage to all enemies within 12 yards in front of you and reducing their movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. Damage reduced beyond 5 targets. What's the point of this though? Hold up, I'm missing something. Am I? Am I not? This costs holy power. Oh, okay. It has a cooldown of 15 seconds instead of 45. Let me get out of Discord in a moment. Okay, so it's like a repeatable one. Okay, I see. And it costs holy power as well. But you don't get any holy power of it. Instead, it just costs holy power. Is there something like this so far right now? It might be a PvP talent, but I've never seen this. So this could be... This could be good, but it's just damage. It's just another AoE damage. Instead of using it on Divine Storm, it would be like an extra damage AoE ability. So, a lot of cleave. It's target cap though, so... At 5 targets, just like Divine Storm, which is mainly what's keeping up... It's keeping Red Paladin from being an actual good spec in Mythic Plus is like huge target caps. What about Ashes to Dust? Art of War has a 35% chance to reset the cooldown of Wake of Ashes instead of Blade of Justice. This is the 4 set right now, isn't it? This is a tier set right now. Yeah, it's 50% on the 4 set. Here is only 35, although this is very strong actually. So those two options are really good. You would always pick one of these. I think you might pick one or the other always. I don't think you skip on that stuff. Wake of Ashes burns the target beyond an additional 10% damage over 6 seconds. It's free damage. You would probably pick that. We talked about this random consecration thing. I don't know about that one too much. Fires of Justice reduces the cooldown and Crusader Strike by 15% and grants it 15% chance to make your next ability consume 1 less holy power. I mean, the cooldown reduction in Crusader Strike is good. It's very good. But at the same time, what are you going against? 50% chance to make your next Divine Storm free and deal 25% increased damage. So this seems like single target versus AoE, I think. But yeah, this is probably single target versus AoE. I don't know. You probably pick either. They both seem like strong options. Eye for an Eye or Justicar's Vengeance. Eye for an Eye, just PvP defensive. And Justice Vengeance is... yeah, it's also PvP stuff, really. Like stun targets. Do you use this in like any sort of PvE scenario? 5 holy power for only 150% increased attack power. Damage increase if the target's stunned, but this doesn't seem like you use this in PvE much, honestly. You can't stun bosses, that's really what matters. What about this? Tempest of the Lightbringer. Divine Storm projects an additional wave of light, striking all enemies. Oh yeah, this is the good old more AoE kind of thing. Only 20% of the Divine Storm's damage, but it's just more damage, right? It's more AoEs, that's what you want. Healing Hands or Selfless Healer, both defensive options. Let's say you just pass on those, but then you couldn't go into Relentless Inquisitor, and then you would pass on going Vanguard's Momentum and Final Verdict. Ooh, I don't know about that. We're already at 16 points. We're missing a lot of stuff on this side of the tree. So here we would have Consecrated Ground. The Consecration is 15% larger and enemies have reduced movement speed. Probably not ideal to pick that one. Successful Judgment increases your movement speed by 20% for 2 seconds. PvP stuff. Exorcism. I knew this was here, but burns the target for an additional couple damage points every 2 seconds for 12 seconds. Applies the damage overtime effect to nearby enemies if the target is standing within your consecration and stuns undead targets. So you would also apply the 20% ticking damage thing to everything around it if you're standing in consecration. If the target is standing in consecration, you would also spread out the dot. It's 20-second cooldown, doesn't consume any holy power, so I don't see why this would be bad. It's just 1 GCD and you do more AoE damage. But you would have to go through this, so every 10 seconds in combat you gain 1 holy power. That is the Torghast power. Oh my god, that's bad. Consecration Spirited damage has a chance to grant you 1 holy power. Okay, let's say you go... oh, you need to pick something up here, yeah. Okay, let's say you pick up Giga AoE stuff, right? So let's pick this, you pick that. Yeah. You have to make a choice here if you want to go for Final Reckoning. And Divine Toll as well. So what would we rather get? Extra movement speed or slowing down the enemies? You probably pick extra movement speed more reliably. You don't give a shit about that one as a DPSer, I don't think so. Judgment grants you Beardrew's command for 5 seconds. A little bit of extra holy damage. This one sucks. You could use this as holy paladin right now. It's a conduit, but this one sucks so much. So you would go Divine Toll and then you pick Divine Resonance. So yeah, extra Holy Power generation, of course, Divine Toll, insanely strong. Ashes to Ashes, when you benefit from Art of War, you gain Surfing for 2 seconds only? The light magnifies, you only get it for 2 seconds? So like 1 GCD? Okay, so it's 2 seconds per level. This would be Giga Mythic plus damage, but what are we passing on here? Templar's Verdict, 15% chance to strike again for 30% increase of its damage. Okay, single target. Crusade or Avenging Wrath might. Call upon the light and become the avatar of Retribution, increases your critical strike chance by 20% for 20 seconds. Okay, so you would also get 20% increased crit up top of everything else. You probably want that, right? You gain 1 holy power every 5 seconds. That is really good as well. So you would kind of want to get that. Also, what's Crusade now? Call upon the light and begin a crusade, increases your haste by 3% for 25 seconds. Each holy power spent increases your haste by an additional 30. So you get 30% haste basically. In like no time. And also gain 3% damage per stack. So oh, but you give up on the flat. Okay, so you straight up give up on the flat 20% increased damage. So you have to build the increased damage over time from wings. Right? So you will eventually get 10% more damage from wings, but you do lose that, you know, early on, until you build it up, you lose a little bit of extra damage. I don't see that being, like, either of those options are good, so you probably want that no matter what. We gave up on some stuff from Blade of Justice. We picked our Exorcism, which we could very much give up on as well. But okay, we gotta make some choices here. We kind of gotta go down here. So the quickest thing to do, we only have 3 points left, so we gotta give up on something 100%. But either you pick this and you go down, or you pick this and you go down. The cooldown of Lay on Hands is reduced by 60% based on the target's missing health. War Glory healing is increased by... you would probably pick that, right? Healing Hands. Selfless Healer is much more instant heal without spending any holy power, but at the end of the day, Word of Glory is your heal more. Or your self-heal and heal others button. Yeah, you would probably pick Healing Hands. And then you would do that and you would run out of points. So, increase haste. Oh, if you could go down to Vanguard's momentum even just for 1 point, that would be huge. But we would have to give up stuff left and right at this point. So, would you give up the extra damage from this? Maybe it's not that strong. Oh, Vanguard's momentum has 2... Yeah, it's 2 stacks. So you could give up on that. You would definitely give up on that to pick either of these two. I don't know which one would be the ideal one. So just extra crit, like it's the 20% increased crit from this. No, you don't have the crit portion of it. Oh, the crit portion of wings is gone. Yeah, the crit portion of wings is gone. It's just damage and healing. So if you want the crit portion, you have to basically buy it now. Oh, shit. Okay. So they kind of nerfed us there by making us pick that. Oh, shit. Alright, so wings are weaker, even weaker now, and you have to go all the way there. Is that, like, gone from Holy as well? And you're gonna have to do the same thing? Oh, that's gonna be fucked. One holy power every 5 seconds. What's that? You get 4 holy power for free. Yeah, so you get 4 holy power. That talent here is just 4 holy power. I don't know if that would be that strong. Resonance, you gain 3 holy power. But that's every minute instead of every 2 minutes. So that's 6 versus 4. You would pick Resonance. You would pick Resonance over this. It's just mathematics. You can use 1 Divine Toll every minute, so you get 3 extra Holy Power every Divine Toll. With Resonance, in the time you get another set of wings, you just get 2 extra Holy Power from this talent versus that one. So yeah, that one, you could get that if you want even more Holy Power. But if you had to make a choice between those two, you would pick Resonance. And yeah. Divine Toll's Judgment increase damage by 100%. Is that still the case right now? I'm not a Valkyrian, I can't see. So we could give up on Exorcism if it's not too much damage. I don't know if it's gonna be valuable if you're not benefiting from the stun part of it, but then again, like, did it just kill, like, yeah, I killed half my tree. Because then we would have to, like, put points into that. Something like that. Otherwise we can't go lower. Yeah, we need to spend at least 20 points up until this point, so we can't really have all that down here. So we would have to go there that way and then do this again. And we would just get like this instead of that. The only choice here would be that. Would be instead of Exorcism, you would get the projectile thing for your Divine Storms. Which one would be better? Probably the Divine Storms one and Mythic Plus. You're just gonna have many more of them, I believe. And I don't know about this one, but you can't really pick that one then here. If you go and pick Final Reckoning, you can't pick that one. So it does seem like this would probably be like your AoE build for Mythic Plus. You would give up on Vanguard's Momentum, but I don't see how you pick that up and then still pick both Final Reckoning and Divine Resonance. You would have to give up on that and that to just pick that. So you give up on the critical strike or the 10% increased damage after a couple seconds. And yeah, just to get that. It could be worth it though. Like that could be an option. Because Vanguard's Momentum is a lot of extra holy damage. It's a lot of extra holy damage. Too many choices. It is a lot of choices, yeah. Now this is AoE. This is full AoE though. This is full AoE. Yo, what up, bits? We're trying to look. Well, we're looking at the Retribution tree for now and figuring out what a build would look like here. There is a lot of choices, dude. So you only have 10 talent points to work down here, and that's the problem. Because no matter what you want to do up here, like you will only always have 10 points down here. So you're gonna be restricted to those options. Either go with Final Reckoning, and I don't know, you use Final Reckoning in Mythic Plus, right? It's such a big burst. So if you would pass on that, then you could do more stuff, but then you would also lose the Seraphim thing. It's only 4 seconds of Seraphim though. This is kind of trolling, but at the same time, you're not picking Seraphim. Do you even have Seraphim here? Yeah, you have it somewhere, right? It's like here. It was in the main tree, right? Or am I not? Am I being trolled? I don't actually remember seeing it now that I think about it. Is Seraphim gone? The Seraphim might just be straight up gone. Like you get Seraphim from Crusader Aura now. That's a new thing. You can gain Seraphim whenever people fall below 50% HP for 6 seconds every 30 seconds. So that's something you're gonna get. As red. You don't play that as holy. No shot. But straight up Seraphim is gone? Am I blind? It's not there. It's not. I could be one of these choices that's already closed up. But it does seem like it's not. Yeah, it's straight up gone. Last meet in class 3, I think. That's Holy Avenger, Divine Purpose, Recompense, Sacrifice of the Just, Touch of Light, Incandescence. Oh, it's down here. Ah, fuck. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It is there. It is there. Yeah. I wasn't looking down here. It is there. Okay. Yes. So Seraphine is still there. It's just very low in the tree. But it is still there. So, okay, we thought a little bit about AoE. Can we just reset this? Reset all. Okay, what about a single target build then? What about a raiding build? Let's see. So you would go full Blade of Justice. You want to get as many Blade of Justice as possible. Blade of Justice gives you a lot of holy power. Critical strike of your Blade of Justice, sure. Like I don't see how you ever pick this though. I don't see how you ever pick this point for 2% extra haste, but you do you. I mean, maybe you could do that if you didn't want Wake of Ashes, but I don't see how you don't want Wake of Ashes. We still need to pick something else though, and that's where this comes through. Now, you 100% need to pick Divine Storm if you want to go just single target. So you can't skip on Divine Storm for full single target. Reducing cooldown of Judgment, yes, you want that. Crusader Strike 2 charges, yes, you want that. Damage dealt by Judgment, yes. So Mort, Art of War, no Consecration thingy. I doubt this is ever going to be good for any scenario, honestly. Even in AoE scenarios, but we'll see. It's just one extra Consecration at a ranged situation where like probably mobs are going to be moving out of. But if it's fixed, then you would just have 2 Consecrations on top of each other. If you just like use this and like it procs when the mobs are already stacked up. Either way, this would allow you to pick this, which would increase the damage of your Judgment. Holy damage down for 8 seconds. Oh, you could sort of time your mini bursts with this. Okay, so more damage from Judgment, again, critical strike and extra damage after the 3rd Judgment, and then you would also proc the increased damage done to that target for 8 seconds. So more damage. You would always go with this. Templar's Verdict, increase the damage of your next Templar's Verdict. You need that. You would pick Seal. Judgment empowers your with Holy Shield, causing your next 3 auto attacks to occur 30% faster and deal extra damage, so just more single target damage. You would then... I mean, this is just... Like, this is literally just extra holy power in both ways, but one is every 10 seconds and the other one is like at a chance. So I guess the more targets within the consecration, the more chances of getting extra holy power. This could be busted in AoE, honestly. If every instance of damage has a chance of giving you the extra holy power, it could always be mathematically put in a way that it's not busted, but it just sounds like it's either AoE, more holy power, or if there's only one target, then you just go with the guaranteed 1 holy power every 10 seconds. This one you would never pick. This one you probably would never pick. Yeah, I don't think so. The movement speed thing and these 2 stuffs, don't think you pick those. But if you gotta go down and pick Divine Toll, you would probably do so. Now let's see what... Let's go focus on this part of the tree first, though. Crusader Strike, consume less holy power. You probably would pick that instead of the... Yeah, you would pick that instead of the Divine Storm thingy. So more single target from Crusader Strike. It just comes up more often, more holy power generation. And there's a chance of making your next holy power spending ability cheaper. That is perfect for single target. You don't want that. You probably don't want that either. Let's say you would go with Execution Sentence. That sounds like the big bursty option that everyone is gonna want. Given that there's not that many other options that you could choose out for a single target burst, you kind of need that. It seems like you kind of need that. And you would pick Healing Hands once more, and then you can go down to this part of the tree. But just now you can go down. So we're giving up on Executioner's Will. This might be good, but then you could give up on something else, like Seal. You could also give up on Righteous Verdict, which I don't think you would. Yeah. And then we're also not picking stuff like Ashes to Dust, which is also very strong. Truth's Wake, not exactly good single target damage. But Ashes to Dust is massive. It still generates, yeah, 3 holy powers. So you kind of still want to get that for sure, right? Like, you wouldn't pass on that. You wouldn't pass on that, no shot. So then we could just give up on that. Like, it's more holy power, but it's not that much. And we're still left with 20. We still haven't picked Executioner's Will. I don't know how big this is going to be, but sounds like a big deal. If Execution Sentence is going to be a meaty part of your damage, you're giving up a lot of extended burst potential. You would pick those two almost guaranteed. You probably would pick Divine Toll and still pick Resonance, but I don't know. Would you do that in straight up single target boss fights? I don't know. I do believe you would go this way, replace Temple's Verdict with Final Verdict. 50% chance to activate Hammer of Wrath and reset its cooldown. So you can use Hammer of Wrath after this without wings, and it just straight up resets the cooldown. Is this now a thing? I don't know. It is, right? It is already a thing. No, it's not. It's a different story. It might be a Lego, I don't know. I haven't played too much Red, but that sounds like it's just gonna do more damage, and there's a chance that you can use Hammer of Wrath afterwards instantly, so that's really good. That's more single target damage, Banger's momentum, more holy damage is always going to be up so long as you're able to keep on using it, which is gonna be a matter of wings uptime. Then the extra holy power from this thing. Oh, I do believe you would go Crusade here, because you would end up with 30% increased wings damage, as well as the haste. It's worth over 20% crit, I do believe. And then it's a matter of how do you want to get the extra holy power generation. So you would probably pick this and then that. Right, I would believe you would probably pick Executioner's Will. If it's that big of a deal that Executioner's Sentence is like a must, you would pick that. Otherwise, you might even pass on Executioner's Sentence, but it's just gonna be a matter of whether or not it's worth picking it and like worth actually putting the big burst into it. Otherwise, you would go full holy power generation, really. It's either that, either picking Executioner's Sentence and Executioner's Will. Maybe you give up on the will, but it's either that or you go for... You just give up on those two, and then... we wouldn't be at 20 just yet, so you kind of have to pick something, one of those two. Ah, fuck. Yeah, you would go with Inner Powers, so extra holy power generation from that. You would pick full-on holy power generation there, Crusade, and then do this, but you would miss 1 point. So you can't, you have to give up on either Resonance or Liadrin's Fury once again, and then the decision is to go and give up on Liadrin's Fury because this is just more holy power. So this is what we would look like. That's like the two options that I'm seeing. Either a lot of holy power generation from this and from Resonance, and then just maxing out your single target damage and the procs of Blade of Justice and the procs of Wake of Ashes together with Ashes to Dust, as well as giving you the increased damage from Judgment and the procs for increased holy power damage done, or holy damage done with your third Judgment, which sounds like what you would want for single target. And it's either that or you give up on the holy power generation and then you go for the full burst route. So you give up on the Resonance, you give up on the 1 holy power every 10 seconds, and you pick Executioner's Sentence together with Executioner's Will. I do believe this is probably going to be more like it. I don't think the extra holy power here is just 1 every 10 seconds, which will add up. It's going to add up, so it's going to mean a lot of damage. As well as Resonance, you're giving up on 6 holy power every 2 minutes. Not the greatest, but not bad either. As well as like the judgments, right? Like it throws an extra judgment every... So it's also extra damage, not just the holy power. But I do see like those being the two builds that you could see having as a red paladin in this, as things are standing right now.